trying to figure out, is that really spirit or is that me? I'm gonna tell you guys, like my mentor told me, we're not smart enough to know the things that God can tell us. Hey beautiful ones, Fran here, back with another video. So you guys know the drill. You know that TT Fran's always gonna say, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for liking and subscribing. Thank you for going on this amazing journey with me. So I'm changing some things on the channel. I know you guys see that. And I really am excited to be able to do more teaching here on this channel. And today I'm going to talk about my own personal journey, my relationship with money, and the relationship with money, and how your relationship with money is either bringing it to you or it's repelling it away from you. Now, here in a couple of months, I'm going to start my Wealthy Women training, where I take about 30 women and I take them on this journey about wealth and money and sustainable income, etc. And I'll talk to you guys about that later, but I really kind of want to jump into this because it has really been in my spirit to talk about this and to put this out here. So, you know, I started my business after ending a career, right? Like after ending a career. And when I started this business, I was probably making about, I don't know, maybe $200 or $300 a month. Sometimes not even that much, right? My mindset around money was really, really very lack and limited. My mindset around money was very limited. And I had a really, really poor mentality about money. Like, seriously, I'm telling you, I had such a horrible outlook on money. I depended on my job, I depended on people, I depended on everything outside of myself to create this income that I wanted so desperately. Like, I wanted to have this lifestyle and I wanted to live this life that I knew that I was destined to live, because I read that in the Bible and I knew that I was created to be abundant, but nobody was teaching me that, right? Nobody was teaching me about being abundant and how to be abundant. They were teaching me how to tithe and how to trust God for my abundance, but I wasn't told how I should trust God and why I should trust God. So when I began my journey as a Christian spiritualist, the outlook changed because somebody was actually teaching me. My mentor was actually teaching me about sustainable wealth and how God is the source of wealth. And a lot of you know that Edwin Gaines was my mentor for a long time for Spiritualized Prosperity. If y'all haven't seen that video, you need to go back and check it out. I'll link it here. But anyway, I was really going through a time of awakening and self-discovery. And I think that we as spiritual beings having this human experience are always going through these motions of awakening, reawakening, self-discovery. Just went through something like that in the last month. I'll have to tell you guys about that later. But I really want to talk to you about this because right now we're in this place where things feel uncertain physically, right? In this physical realm, there's so many people asking me, like, Fran, are we ever going to get back to normal? Is it always going to be like this? Are we always going to have this? Is this a depression coming? What's happening? So I thought I'd share a little bit about my story and just talk a little bit about relationships with money and the energy of money, right? And I teach a lot about money because money is important. Don't let anybody tell you that money is important. I was listening to someone talk the other day, and she was talking about how she bought her house, her $500,000 house, with poor credit, or fair credit. Let me not say poor, fair credit. She might be watching this. You didn't say poor, you said fair credit. And someone said, how did you do that? She said, I had a lot of cash to put down owned that house. So the bank didn't have to give me as big of a loan. Credit is power, but cash is king. And once you understand that, and you understand that you have the ability to either call it in or push it away, your life and your relationship with money will change. So let's just get into that a little bit. So when I first started the business, I was doing sessions for people, one-on-one sessions. Wasn't doing any teaching at that point. I was doing one-on-one sessions, and I was charging people nothing. I was charging people nothing. The first year in my business, I didn't even make enough that I had to file income taxes. I filed income taxes, but I just kind of broke even, right? And so I decided that, you know, I really have a vision for not only my life, but for my business. I wanted to be able to reach out and touch more people. I wanted to be able to get in front of more people, and I wanted to educate more people on really what it was like to be abundant. But at that point, I wasn't really getting the platform. Like, I was calling churches and asking to speak in certain spiritual churches and metaphysical churches, and I was being told, no, you don't. Have you written a book? Have you been on a television show? What's your Facebook handle? How many people do you have following you? So nobody was willing to help me, right? Then I got 2 breaks, right? But let me tell you about how I got those 2 breaks. I sat down and I was praying. And I told God, I said, my desire. So you guys might want to get a pencil and paper, write some of this stuff down. It's important. I said, you know, God, my desire is to teach and educate people about you and the power that we have by being connected to you to change our life, right? So as you see, my conscience is elevating a little bit, because for my studying and sitting with my ancestors and sitting with the powerful spiritual women in my life and my mentors, my mindset's just it's expanding just a little bit at this point, that I feel like I can ask God for this. I can talk to God about this. I can tell God about this. I don't have to be flat down on the floor. I don't have to be in church for 25 hours to get a breakthrough. I can come talk to God like I'm talking to y'all, right? And I was so dedicated to the purpose of changing people's lives and mindset, because at this point I feel like I had wasted a lot of my life trying to figure it out, right? Like, it took me a long time to get the momentum to reach outside of my circle and expand my mind, right? So I was telling God what I wanted, and I remember sitting in this very space and hearing the voice of Spirit telling me to contact this particular church. And I said, I really I don't want to, because I know what they're going to say. They're going to say the same thing everybody else said. And they told me to do it. Just do it. Like Nike, just do it. So I remember calling this church on the plaza in Kansas City, Missouri. And this wonderful lady named Christine answered the phone. And I could tell she was hurried, but I told her who I was and what I did. And she said, so what do you want to do? What are you trying to do? Are you trying to rent a room? Are you trying to you know, hold an event? What are you trying to do? I was not that big, so I wasn't trying to really do any of that. I just really wanted to have a space and an office where I could see people, where people could come see me face to face, and I could do my one-on-one sessions for people. She says, okay, put it in an email. 2 2 days later, she contacted me and said, okay, Fran, so this is what we can do. We have this room. We rent this room out for blah, 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 blah dollars. Since you're just starting, I can rent it out to you for this amount. I've already gotten the okay from the minister and blah, 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 blah. And that created a dynamic relationship and a dynamic partnership. And 3 times a week, I was there doing sessions. The staff came and had sessions with me. So once they realized that I was really, truly gifted, even though I look like I look, you know, I wasn't walking around looking like, you know, I was haggard and, you know, with a cloth over my head. I was looking like me because this is who I am. But the gift of God is still flowing through me. Know that. Okay? All right. So, once they realized that I really have the discernment of spirit, they started sending people to me. I had so many people. I had a waiting list for the first time in my career doing this. I still didn't make a lot of money, but I was happy to do it. I wanted to do it. Then I went to this other place that I was led to go, because here's the thing about the Lord. Here's the thing about your heavenly staff, your angels, your ancestors, your guides. They will always send you in the right direction, but you have to listen. You have to tune in. You have to pay attention to what is being said to you, right? You've got to take time to start that practice and to sit in it. You understand what I mean? So I got sent to this lady who was channeling. I thought, oh man, maybe she'll have a message for me. Maybe she'll be able to tell me something. Child, I got into the channeling and Spirit started talking to me and giving me messages for people. And I was like, this is not my event. This is not my event. Why are we doing this here? Right? Why is this happening? Well, there was a lady there. Her name is Marla Westrop. Hi, Marla. Marla is this amazing red-haired, fiery woman. She's amazing. And the lady was giving her this message, but I was getting another message. And they were telling me, your message is important. You have to tell her. You have to tell her before she leaves here. And I remember thinking, I can't do that. I'm nervous and people don't know me. And is that wrong to be doing that? Or they were like, you have no choice. You've taken the assignment. So you got to do it. So I stood by the door and I waited for Marla. Marla and I are still friends. I love Marla. Marla was like one of the biggest keys to me doing exactly what I do today. Divinely led, intentional, purposeful movements. We're going to talk about that more in another video too. If I hadn't listened and went to that event, I would have never met Marla. We are so in our heads sometimes trying to figure it out. We are so in our heads trying to make this work. We are so in our heads trying to figure out, is that really spirit or is that me? I'm going to tell you guys, like my mentor told me, we're not smart enough to know the things that God can tell us. That's a whole different voice. And it's a whole different feeling. So I waited for Miss Marla outside and I said, listen, very shy because see, I had only given messages before I started giving messages at the church, in church, right? Never in the specter, right? Always in church. So I gave her the message and she looked at me and she said, who are you? Which is exactly what I was expecting her to say. Like, don't nobody know me? I said, well, my name is Fran, and I have this gift of discernment. I said, the angels and God tell me things. I said, and I started crying because I'm always crying. Your girl's always crying, y'all. I'm always crying. Boo-hoo, crying all the time. And I said, and I had to tell you that because it was important. And it was a message about her family. And she said, wow. She said, she got in her purse. And I thought she was going to tell me off, y'all. I ain't even going to lie. I was like, oh, this woman's going to let me have it. See, y'all done see? She wrote down her number. She wrote down her name. And she wrote down this address. And she said to me, meet me here tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Don't be late. I went to this salon in Overland Park, Kansas, which is in another part of Kansas City, Missouri. You guys, this won't mean anything to you unless you were from Kansas City or lived in Kansas City. And I went to this salon, and this salon was like a real upscale salon. It was for rich people. It was for people who had enough money to get on this machine and let this machine exercise their body for them. Like, right? Like, this woman that owned this place was way ahead of her time. Spiritually, she was way ahead of time. Way ahead of time. And I remember walking in this door, being the only woman of color in the whole salon, and Marla saying, I want you to meet Fran. Fran has a gift. Fran, this is Barbara. Barbara owned the salon. She said, talk to Barbara. And so, where I come from in the church, they tell you to ask permission before you give someone a message. You just don't get in people's business, right? So, I asked her if I could give her a message, and she said, sure, absolutely. I did. She basically gave me a room in the back and said, I'm going to send everybody that comes into the salon that's open to you. That year, I made a little bit more money. As I begin to honor the fact that I'm asking for direction. Now pay attention, y'all. I'm asking for direction, and God is giving me direction, and it's working. God has sent me a mentor. He has opened up the doors to this spiritual realm that I knew about, but didn't even have a clue. Like, as enlightened as my mom was so enlightened, and my mom was so spiritual, and she had so much faith. I don't think my mother even had a clue about how dynamic, how amazing the spiritual realm of abundance is. And we're talking about money here, but I'm talking about abundance in every area. Even your spiritual awakening can be hugely abundant. You understand what I'm saying? All right. So that year, I began to really thirst for more knowledge and to be more grounded and more rooted in my spiritual practice. By being more grounded and more rooted in my spiritual practice, it made me elevate in consciousness, honoring the time, getting up early, sitting before God, asking my heavenly staff to intervene, asking for me to be awakened to the sense of abundance, to feel abundance, to act abundant. You know what your girl started doing? I started going shopping in places I knew I couldn't afford to buy a bag at that point, but I knew that I was going to be able to buy that bag one day. And I started to go around people whose conscience was elevated. You guys hear people say that your circle of friends, your 5 favorite people, are a direct reflection of you. Look at who you hang out with, right? So because I was in this salon that was upper scale, and I was able to give these very wealthy women, you know, advice about their business, advice about their relationships, advice about their money, whatever it was, that they asked Spirit, of course I could give it to you because God's moving through me, so let me do it. I had something more valuable than money. You understand? I had my connection with God, which was more valuable and is more valuable than anything ever. However, that connection was supplying me with wealth to take care of my family. And I was making some really, really good friends who were really, really wealthy, who would invite me to eat lunch at places I'd never been to before. But let me say this. Your girl didn't go in there acting like she ain't never been there before. I put on my suit, my heels, and I dressed up like I had money. And I looked like money. And I felt like money. And I began to attract money. My relationship with money was changing. You understand? We as spiritual beings having a human experience are pre-programmed by what we see in our physical reality. If you're hanging around people who are broke and negative and don't have enough of anything, whether it's money, health, love, self-love, God in their life, then you're hanging around a lower frequency vibration. It's really just that simple. If you're hanging around people who are abundant, who are happy, who are healthy, who know who God is and know who their source is and know where their source is, when you're hanging around those people, you're hanging around with people who are vibrating on a higher frequency. Now I'm going to tell you this. When you start to change your surroundings and you start to change your relationships, people are not going to like that. And they're going to say that you are bougie and you acting like you all that and who you think you are. And then your ego is going to come in because the ego has to say, yeah, like, wait a minute, I'm losing control here. Wait, they're not on this physical plane anymore. They're thinking at a higher level, which means that they're on the spiritual plane, right? So your ego says, who you think you are? Them people don't really like you. See, these are things that were going through my mind. They're just using you for what you know. They don't like you. Well, you have to weigh against what you're desiring and what you're actually emotionally feeling. Being attached to negative emotions is the work of the ego. Because the ego wants to stay in control. Whole nother video. So I began to change my relationship with money, right? I actually had a lady who is still a friend of mine today, who's a millionaire, tell me, Fran, you're giving yourself away. You can't really put a price on your gift, but you're selling yourself way short. You need to think about that. I had to elevate my consciousness, right? Did I want to continue to make 3 figures? Did I want to continue to make no figures? Or did I want to continue to make 7 figures plus? I had to make a decision. You understand? I'm telling you this because changing your relationship and how you feel and how you think about money is going to change your life. The minute I was able to let go of the expectations of how the money was going to come, where it was going to come from, who it was going to come, I have never been the one to say, if I could get this many clients, I can make this much money, and if I have 6 clients a day and they all pay me $500, I have never been that girl, ever. I have always gone to God. I've always gone to my heavenly staff. I have in my journal and I've written down, this is what I desire to make this month. So be it, so it is. Now there's a lot of other stuff in between that script, but that's my script for the month, and at the first of every month, I write a different script. You understand what I'm saying? Whatever it is I'm desiring to bring into my life for that month, I make sure that I make the vision plain. Not to people. I don't go tell my team, we gotta make $100,000 this month. I tell my higher power and my heavenly staff, because that's who is in control of my abundance. It's not people. It's not my job. It's not the products I sell. That's not who's in control. God is in control. You understand? And there's a whole lot of people that work with God. You have the angels of abundance. You have the goddesses of abundance. You have your ancestors. You have your divine birthright to be abundant. Once you know these things and you know how to put them in place, I feel like I'm dancing, y'all. I want to just start shouting, I'm telling you. Once you put those things in place, your life is going to change. I've noticed that a lot of people are talking about manifesting now. I've been talking about manifesting for years. You guys go back to my videos. My very first video I think I ever put on YouTube was about manifesting. I think it has over 100,000 views now. Old video, probably 10 years old. I don't even remember. But this is what I do remember, and this is what I do know, is that a lot of people will talk to you about manifesting, but they won't tell you how they did it. They'll give you a little bit of a script, or they'll say, I wrote in my journal, or I simply got clear. But what did you do in between that time? How long did you wait and how did you wait? Sometimes I wait patiently, sometimes not so patiently. Sometimes I get a little impatient. I want to be able to tell it to you so you can recreate it or use what I'm giving you or whatever you need from what I'm giving you to put into your own practice to make it work for you. You understand? I'm not just trying to dangle the carrot. I want to give you the carrot. Take the carrot so that we can change the world. You understand? There are so many women right now who cannot even buy groceries for their children. And in their mind, they think this is just the way it is. And I'm telling you, it's not just the way it is. It's not. It's not just the way it is. God is abundant. The universe is full of abundance. There is so much money circulating in the universe. Why should you not have your share? And more than that, if you want it, the choice is yours. You have to change your relationship with money in order for your money to change. Money is an energy. It's just like you. I'm going to have to do a part 2 to this video. I know that, because there's so much about the relationship with money and the energy of money. Money is simply an energy. You call it forth when you need it. It is just an energetic frequency that you call into your life when you need it. But depending on how attached or detached you are from it, how you think about it, how your consciousness is wrapped around money, is going to completely dictate if it's coming or if it's not. It's kind of like me talking to you guys about faith. Like, how much faith you got? You got faith the size of a mustard seed? You got faith the size of the mustard seed, you can call in some things. But if you don't have any faith, or if you're doubting that what you're calling in is coming, if you have any kind of doubt around what it is you're asking for, you're defeating your purpose and yourself. But the biggest thing, I think, to change the relationship around money, or to begin to change your relationship around money, is to tell yourself that I am worthy of money. I am worthy of lavish amounts of money. Listen, there is no reason why somebody's living up here on the Hollywood Hill if that's your desire. It may not be your desire. You may not want to live on the Hollywood Hill. I'm just using that because it symbolizes, and some people are defined by living in Hollywood up on the hill. So I'm using that as an example. So if you are wanting to, or if you desire to live in Hollywood up on the hill, and you drive through the hills and you think, ooh, jeez, these people got a lot of money. I don't even know if I'll ever have that much money. These people got a lot of money. They got that Oprah money. Ooh, they probably got that LeBron money too. I don't know. If you think about it like that, then you've defeated your purpose, because you're not Oprah, you're not LeBron. But that doesn't mean that you're not worthy of living a LeBron lifestyle or an Oprah lifestyle if you want to live it. If you want to live a city girl lifestyle, that's on you. You have to make a choice. Those people made a choice to live a different lifestyle. They made a choice to change their relationship with money. And you have the ability, my loves, to do the same exact thing. Alright guys, I am going to let you go. However, make sure that you are following me on Instagram. Lots of good stuff happening over on Instagram at angels_with_Fran. Also, we have the Woo Woo Girl collection page over there. It's growing. Thank you, thank you, thank you for all of you who have followed all of the pages. I am so thankful and grateful. I absolutely love seeing you guys over there. Let me tell you, I do. I love talking to you and being able to talk right back at you. I love it. Also, behind me, I am burning our most popular candle. I know a lot of you know this candle because a lot of you have bought it. It is our Peace and Prosperity candle. My favorite candle. Always keep a peace and prosperity burning in my home. Always keep a peace and prosperity burning in my home. And also, let me think. I'm trying to think. Oh, Wealthy Women is going to start in September. It's Wealthy Women, but if there's my brothers out there, you know, I ain't gonna leave y'all out. You want to join it? Feel free to do that. We will get the details out to you if you're on the email list. Now, if you're on my email list, you know that I don't spam people. I don't even barely send emails, y'all. Let me tell you. But that's the way I communicate with you guys when I can't communicate with you like this. Alright, I just want to tell you guys I'm so thankful and grateful for each and every one of you for sharing this journey with me. Remember, we are raising consciousness and changing mindsets one video at a time. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I will talk to you guys later. Bye for now.